Well, good morning, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Behind the Mic with me, Mike Avery, here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. Glad to have you along with us. As always, doing a little time shifting in the studio this week. So that's always a little mental exercise. For me, John, good morning, buddy. You ready to get down there this weekend? Down to Ohio with Bill Piles of Ohio Bow Hunting Outfitters. Congrats on that buck you shot, too, your first sit. How cool is that? And it was a nice buck, too. Ross. Good morning, buddy. How are you? I liked your pictures from your ride. Was that last weekend? Very nice. Very nice. Brad, good morning. Appreciate you joining us on this edition of Behind the Mic with me, Mike Avery, here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. It is going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to it. And the weather looks pretty good. I mean, I've been down there when it was really warm and really cold. And it looks like it's kind of in between next week, so that's good. Ed, good morning. How are you? Well, it was my pleasure, John. Thanks for giving it to me so we could share it. Justin, how are you doing, buddy? I really enjoyed that conversation we had on last week's radio show. And congrats on your big bear. But anyway, I thought it was a nice conversation that we had regarding the whole concept of hunting, the history and tradition of hunting, defending hunting, and promoting and encouraging hunting. So very, very nice. Kind of feeling fallish, isn't it? 2 weeks ago, cold, wet weekend, but it looked like fun. Sam, good morning. Where'd you go, Sam? Good morning, Sam. How are you? Hello, Cliff, Ed Bolanowski. I'm still disappointed you can't join us, Ed, but I get it. Bruce, good morning. Jim checking in from Hersey. Kevin, Coyote, Killing King, Rot. Liked your video of the wolf on the bear bait. That was pretty cool. Jason checking in from the Ira Township Fire Department. You just really wanted us to have a wolf season when you saw that video. It's like the crosshairs were right on that animal. I get it. All right, Ross, you know how to get in touch with me. Maybe making a huge purchase. Are you buying an Angler Quest? I bet I have an inkling of the direction the conversation might go, but that's a private conversation between you and me. Good morning, Carl. Dave, buddy, how you doing? Kevin says it's real wet in the deer woods in Clare this morning. Are they moving? Isn't it interesting how the minute we got that cold front, the deer really started to move? Hello, Scott. How you doing, buddy? Again, I loved the picture of your grandson, Blake, with that big fish. That was so cool. I've got something in the works here that's going to kick off in November, and I will probably use that picture again. Cliff says, can you share more info on the upcoming Wednesday Night Live at the Lumberjack? Is Forward going to be a sponsor again? I'm working with the Forward Corporation again, and we will be at the Lumberjack restaurant for a Wednesday Night Live, Wednesday, December 6th. Too early for reservations, but put it on your calendar. Beaner, good morning, buddy. How you doing? Hello, Lee. You don't have to call me sir, but I'll call you Lee. Or I'll call you Sir Lee. How are you this morning, sir? So we're doing a little time shifting this week because next week I am going to be in Ohio. I will not be doing a Wednesday Night Live. I will not be doing a Behind the Mic. So I recorded 2 shows this week. So I've already got the show done for this weekend, and today recording the show for next weekend. Hey, Cap, how you doing, buddy? From his blind in Gladwin. Corey says the deer are moving in his backyard right now in Midland County. Good morning, Mad Jack. How are you? So I guess the weather is the main thing right now, right? The change in weather. It was 38 degrees at my house Wednesday morning, and we did get frost. Not on the ground, but on the rooftops. So from the time the first cicada buzzed until the first frost this year, according to my documentation, was 9 weeks. What does that mean? Nothing. Just kind of fun to keep track of, right? 9 weeks from the time the first cicada buzzed this year until the first frost. It's usually 8 to 10 weeks, somewhere in that range. So 9 weeks is going to be right in the middle of it. Hello, Mike. How you doing, buddy? Jerry checking in from the Adirondacks. Always a pleasure to have you along with us, Jerry. Thank you, Chip. I will. You right back at you, brother. Tim is in a tree stand in Gladwin this morning. How is it? Are the deer moving? Our trail cams we've seen a lot of activity since the cold front came through. Leroy, good morning, buddy. Ken says walleye are hitting in the St. Clair River. Whipping. Whip it good. Benson and Mike will be in the blind this afternoon. How is Benson in the blind? You said Benson's a great dog, but you said sometimes he breathes a little loud. That's what I was thinking, Ross, and I bet I know what you're thinking of. Is there a bigger purchase than an Angler Quest? The minute you said that, Ross, I thought, I bet I know what he's got going on. Art Lewis. Come in and say hi, Art. He is perfect. He stays as long as you want. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this guy right here. Look at this face right here.
Good morning.
Art Lewis of WSTW, a broadcasting icon, a legend.
Almost as famous as Mike.
That's not true. Art is far more famous than I am. And Art is a fishing fool now. We've got him out there one time, and next year it's going to be like 6 times, I think, Art.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, Art says he's in. He's in.
I'll even buy gas.
Just don't buy the night crawlers.
No.
No night crawlers.
No night crawlers.
Thanks, Art. I always appreciate it when you pop your head in here. You're a good guy. You're one of the good guys, Art.
You too.
Jerry says he's going to be fishing tonight on the St. Clair River. Excellent. Ed says he's planning on living vicariously through us guys next week. So you and Mark need to, we will try, Ed. We will certainly try. I'm probably only going to be down there about 3 days, I think. Tommy, good morning. Corey says, yeah, property in Missouri. That's what Ross is buying. Leroy says, so far a big doe and a fawn, still waiting for the big guy. My goal here is to take a big doe here in Michigan. I would shoot a buck if it was the right buck, but honestly, I don't anticipate seeing a buck like that. I would not mind shooting a buck in Ohio next week, but if I don't, it's okay. I'm going down there with a group of guys. My son James is going with us. My grandson Trent is going with us. So that alone will make for a wonderful, wonderful trip. What else? I mentioned the Wednesday Night Live at the Lumberjack. It's too early for reservations. We haven't done one for a while, so I'm anticipating we'll have a good crowd. I'm really hoping to bring in some good partners of mine. Maybe we can have some giveaways. Bangladeshi. Good morning. How are you? It's a long way from Michigan. Art, on the Angler Quest with the canopy and heater going this fall would be fun. It would be fun. Now, my boat, Scott, you've probably seen it. It's probably still sitting at the end of the dock. But I am jonesing to get out and target some big walleye this fall. Mr. Angler Quest himself, Brad Dupuis, has given me an invitation. I know you have as well, Scott. Hopefully I can take you guys up on it. Tommy says that cold snap has the deer up and moving in Osceola County. I am great. Towhid? Anyway, glad to have you along with us. Ross says he has an inside scoop at the Lumberjack, has a table for 8 reserved already. Ross, don't be causing problems. I said you couldn't make reservations. Come on now. Leroy says, I'll take a doe, but want to let the little guys get a month older. I hear you, Leroy. And the thing of it is, man, hunt your hunt, right? That's what Justin Tomei of MUCC would say. His number 1 buck finally showed up on camera after a couple of weeks, starting to get worried. Did you name him, Justin? You know, that's what you have to do these days. You have to have him on trail camera and then name him. Like Old One Eye or Big 8 or whatever. Little less headroom. Nope, we're not going to get little less headroom. What else? Change that a little. Leroy's going to go back to hunting. He said, to heck with you guys. He says, have a great day. You as well, Leroy. You're in a tree stand this morning, so you've got an advantage over most of us, except for Captain Jim Robleski, who's out there this morning. No name, but I would do some degrading things to get him in bow range. Sam says he names them backstraps, tenderloins, and burger. Randy Iamurray, how are you doing this morning? Have you been out fishing? Craig says I named mine Dummy and Yummy. Guess which one I shot? Jeff, good morning. Shot a nice buck Friday during the cold front. Send a picture, Jeff. Send me a picture to Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com, Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com, and I'll share it here on the Facebook page. Along that line, one of the things we're going to be working on with Forward Corporation now is a promotion and an encouragement to get kids in the outdoors, hunting and fishing and shooting and trapping. So I'm really going to be looking for pictures of kids in the outdoors. So if you have a recent picture of kids hunting or fishing, please send it to me, Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com. And as we go through the fall, keep that in mind because I'll be looking for more pictures. Jim says lots of little bucks and does. Scrapes are being made already too. We actually had a 2.5-year-old buck in a food plot at 10 o'clock yesterday morning. Now, what I want to do, and I haven't been out there for a while now, is I want to get out there and make some mock scrapes and some licking branches because I think those will be magnets right now. I'm going to try to hunt tomorrow night. Although the wind, I do know Bangladesh. The wind tomorrow is supposed to switch, which is going to screw me up on where I wanted to hunt tomorrow night, but we'll give it a try. Anyway, let me tell you who's coming up on this week's radio show. And again, this is a show that has already been recorded. Hey, Ron, good morning. How are things in Pontotoc, Missouri? Nick Carpenter, the new owner of Brenton USA Firearms. Brenton has a new owner. You know I love Michigan-based family-owned companies. Brenton is in that wheelhouse. They have a new owner, a lot of exciting things. We will talk with Nick about that. Then Tom Campbell of Woods and Water News previews their November edition. Mike Horswell of Jay's Sporting Goods with expert advice on processing your own venison. Then Nick Green of MUCC checks in from the duck blind. This week's Ask Avery question, are you still in support of the Rampolla buck being a world record? Because I have been adamantly, I've been very vocal in my support of that. And then Lance Valentine talks about the great fall walleye fishing on Lake Erie. And of course, we wrap it all up with Wild Game Chef Extraordinaire Michigan. In which country do I live? I live in the good old USA. Andy says, I got a picture of a kid for you from the Liberty Hunt. I'll try to send it. Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com, Mike at MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Marty in Scandia, sunshine's coming in. Great. Well, thank you, Marty. Jerry, good morning. How are you? Johnny Bowler, the bear whisperer. Although Johnny's done bear hunting now. You had a real good season, though, didn't you, Johnny? Mike Sills, Michigan outdoorsman. Mike, I'm telling you, Mike spends more time outdoors, I think, than anybody I know. Hunting and fishing. Check out his page, The Michigan Outdoorsman. Anyway, Johnny, I think, is switching over to deer now. Jerry says he's been seeing some small bucks in New York. Walleye bite has been good here between deer hunting. Great time of year, isn't it? Do you want to go hunting or do you want to go fishing? Choices, choices, choices. Oh, my head's not shining yet. It'll shine later. Dave from DNL calls. How are you this morning, buddy? Ross getting his truck back tomorrow or Friday, getting it wrapped. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's not 11:11. Thank you, Nate. I will switch that. Yes. I got a little ahead of myself, didn't I? Let me see if I can do that right now. Let me see if I can switch that. I can, but I will have to switch it out. Thank you, though, Nate. Yeah, I titled it 11:11. It's actually 10:11. I'll switch that, but thank you for letting me know. John says turkey hunting, fishing small game, and apple pies. Deer next month. I do have a fall turkey tag in my pocket right now. If I'm out there deer hunting and a longbeard walks in front of me. Now, in Michigan, in the fall, you can take either sex. You can shoot a hen. I probably wouldn't. In fact, I'll tell you right now, I'm not. I don't care if you do. It's legal. Go ahead. I would not shoot a hen. Again, I don't care if you do. But while I'm out deer hunting this fall, through November 14th, if a longbeard walks in front of me, I'll put an arrow through him. Yeah, October did go by fast. Mike says, when we were on our bear hunt in the UPFU, my buddy ran to a big bull moose, got it on video. Oh, that is so cool. I did not. Did you see the king that my son Josh caught in the pier in Marquette with a fly rod? I did not, Randy. I did not. I can. Yes, Ross, I can. It's bugging me now that I put the wrong date on this. I want to go back and change it. Can I do it here? No. Can I do it there? No. Can I do it here? No. Good morning, Todd. How are you? Or Tim? Are there two of you? You came in on me so fast. Kev, Todd, Tim in South Carolina. 5 deer with each license. Jerry. Yeah. It has been a while, Todd. How you been doing? How you been doing, Todd? Nope, no luck yet, but I've only been out once, Joe. I got to be honest with you. I hunted opening evening with my grandson, Trent. Wanted to get out after the cold front, but haven't been able to because I'm doubling up on shows this week. So I have not been out a second time. I do hope to hunt tomorrow night. That's my goal. Oh, Gladwin doesn't have a fall turkey season. I didn't realize that, Jim. I thought it was statewide. Just got back from Italy fishing bluefin and swordfish. I don't hear that very often. Well, let me check my text. I'm expecting a text and an email right now. Let me check them real close. Oh, nothing. An email. Got it, Andy. Got it. Thank you. It's downloading. All right, Johnny, have a good day, buddy. Ron says he just likes to hear about ducks and bucks. I like to hear about anything outdoors. Hunting, fishing, shooting, and trapping. Wildlife issues, conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's what we do here on the Outdoor Magazine radio show. Really? Tim says South Carolina canceled their fall turkey season last year, not likely to bring it back. Now, this points out an interesting situation across the country. Turkey numbers are down across the country, and nobody quite knows why. There is concern, obviously, but nobody has quite nailed down the reason why turkey numbers are down. Now, my good buddy Scott Hand, who is on here, has some thoughts on it. Scott Hill checking in from Oakland County, big buck territory in Oakland County. How you doing this morning, Scott? Glad to have you along with us on this edition of Behind the Mic with me, Mike Avery. Not 11-11-23, as the title says, but 10-11-23. If it was 11-11, it would be the rut. Okay, I can't change it there. I will have to go through after the fact and change it. Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate that. Good morning, Tim. How are you? Say hi to Jen. Okay, now, in a couple of minutes here, I'm going to record the first segment of the Outdoor Magazine radio show. And if you stick around and listen to it, you're going to be really confused because I'm going to talk about things for the weekend of October 20th. Again, we're doing some time shifting to cover my Ohio deer hunt next week. Hi, Jen. Tim, Jen, we're having a Wednesday night live at the Lumberjack in West Branch on December 6th. Too early for reservations, but just put it on your calendar. So when you hear me record the radio show, when I switch from this microphone to this microphone, it's not going to make any sense to you because I'm talking about things that are a week and a half in the future. So don't come on here and say, Avery, what are you talking about? Well, that's what I'm talking about. Not even a Michigander. We will accept you, though, Tim. We will accept you with welcome. Yeah, you can text me, Ross. Absolutely. I won't be able to respond to it right away, but I will be able to check it and take a look at it. So tonight, 7 o'clock, sweet, you'll be there. Excellent. I will be back here doing a live stream, but I'll be in my office, my studio at the house. Hey, good morning, John. John Sullivan, Allure Lipstick, LureLipstick.com. John, I was thinking about you this morning, John. Any progress in those two topics that we have been discussing? I'm hoping. So anyway, tonight I will be back live 30 seconds away to record another Wednesday Night Live. I'd love to have you join me. That'll be on my Facebook page, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter, now called X. 30 seconds. Charlie's getting real. 15 seconds. Okay, so I got to wrap my brain around this time shifting here. Again, when you hear me reference things and go, that's not right. 3, 2, 1, blast off.
Time now for Michigan's #1
Okay, so I'll see you tonight at 7. Still working on it? Okay, John. Let me know if you need any more info or if I can come in and talk to anybody. Well, that's a good excuse, Tim. You are forgiven. Literally. Okay, let me. I gotta switch my stack here. There we go. Okay. Make sure I'm talking about the right things. All right, my friends, have a good day. Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine radio show here on the Outdoor Magazine radio network on more than 30 radio stations across the great state of Michigan. And so glad, as always, to have you along with us on this 3-hour weekly adventure into the great outdoors, the history and tradition of the outdoor lifestyle here in the great state of Michigan. Hunting, fishing, shooting, trapping, wildlife issues, conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's what we talk about each and every week right here on Outdoor Magazine Radio. Now, this week, today, right now, as I am in the studio, doing some time shifting. I would prefer not to do time shifting, but occasionally I have to do it. I like to keep the information, the material, the topics, the conversations on this radio show as timely as possible. Now, routinely on a weekly basis, we record the show midweek and you hear it a couple of days later. Not so this week, because I am preparing, as we record this show, for a bow hunt in Ohio with my good friend Bill Piles of Ohio Bow Hunting Outfitters. We doubled up on shows. So the conversations that I'm having right now, if something comes up, some big outdoor news, and I'm not talking about it, it's because I don't know about it yet. Because, again, we're doing some time shifting. So just please bear with me on that. I am excited to go down to Ohio for a couple of reasons. It's always nice to see Bill Piles and his family at Ohio Bow Hunting Outfitters. I've known them for years. I used to go down there back when I had a TV show. And there are big bucks down there. They're in central Ohio. You're likely to see nice bucks. It's interesting country because it's very hilly. If you only think of Ohio as that stretch of I-75 as you're heading north and south on the freeway, down there where we hunt, it's a whole different ballgame. It feels more like maybe Kentucky or something like that. It's very rolling. And it's quite rugged, and it's big buck country. But the biggest reason I'm looking forward to going down there is my son James is going to be going with me, and my grandson Trent. Now, James has had a lot of experience in these out-of-state hunts because he used to work for me, again, back when I had the TV show. He was a videographer, and now he does some out-of-state hunting himself, as well as a hardcore deer hunter here in Michigan. So he kind of knows what to expect. He has a certain perspective because he's hunted down there with Bill and Joan and the crew for many, many years. But Trent, this is a whole new experience for him. He's used to seeing Michigan bucks. He's used to hunting in Michigan. He's never hunted outside of Michigan. So I think the first time a 2.5-year-old 110-inch buck walks by him, it's going to make his heart skip a few beats. Now, technically down there with Bill, that 2.5-year-old 110-inch buck would not be a legal target. It is from the perspective of the Ohio DNR, but because Bill wants to ensure the viability of his operation for years and years into the future, he has a 120-inch minimum, and on some of the farms, there's a 140-inch minimum, and that was put into place not by Bill, but by the landowners. Now, a 140-inch buck is a big buck. The biggest deer I've ever taken was in Kansas, and it was a 150-inch 10-point, and it's a big animal. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Trent's reaction to this entire experience, and it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So the show we're recording right now is for the weekend. Let me check my calendar, make sure I'm right. Of the 21st and 22nd. So that means that pheasant season, as you're hearing this, the pheasant season is open in Michigan. I have fond and wonderful memories of pheasant hunting in Michigan. I haven't done it lately, but it was one of those activities when I was a kid growing up on the west side of the state. That was what we did. I had a bunch of buddies who were hunters. You were either a pheasant hunter or you were a duck hunter. I was a pheasant hunter. We always had English setters as our bird dogs. So I grew up around English setters. I grew up around bird dogs. I grew up around pheasant hunting because in northern Kent County, back in the 60s, there were birds everywhere. And I was blessed to grow up out in the country. My mom and dad had some property, and then about 2 miles away, my grandpa had a farm, and there was a big woods that connected the two. And back then, you could wander. It wasn't like today where you were so worried, you're worried about property lines. You don't want to trespass on somebody else's property, and I get that. I don't want to do that. That's their property. I don't want to bother them. But back then, and especially as a kid, there was just an understanding. Everybody knew everybody. I worked for most of those farmers. They knew me, and I could wander wherever I wanted, shotgun in hand. And there were birds everywhere. I remember learning how to pheasant hunt with my dad. I had a 20-gauge single-shot shotgun. And we'd go out in the cornfields or the weed fields with the English setter, and I watched the dog work. I watched how my dad moved through the field. I watched how he handled his gun. He taught me about crossing ditches with guns, about crossing fences with guns, the basic things about being safe with a gun in the outdoors. And they're wonderful, wonderful memories. But I also remember when I kind of made when I graduated to the next step, where if my dad was working, and my dad was a sheriff's deputy, if he was working and couldn't go hunt, but I got out of school and I had some time, I could take off and go hunt myself. And those hunts were real adventures. I mean, think about it. What was I? Probably wasn't technically old enough to hunt, but I was out there with a shotgun. Okay, a gun. I have a gun. Okay? I know how to use it responsibly. I'm being safe. And this is an adventure. I'm out here with a dog who knows more about pheasant hunting than I do because I learned a lot about pheasant hunting from those dogs. Missed a lot of birds. I missed a lot of birds. But we had enough pheasants around where I could go out in the afternoon and miss 2 or 3 birds and still come home with 1 or 2. And back then they cackled. When they took off, a rooster would cackle. And it was a very, very cool sound. So I think about how blessed I am to have those memories of growing up in that type of an environment. And I think maybe that's why I'm so passionate about promoting this outdoor heritage. Because for me, it's not only our state's outdoor heritage, it's a very personal family outdoor heritage and a heritage that I am now able to share. You know, I talk about hunting pheasants with my dad years and years and years and years ago as I'm preparing to head down to Ohio for a bow hunt with my son and grandson. This history and this tradition continue. How cool is that? How cool is that? I also think it's very cool that for some reason, and I don't know why, but just the last couple of weeks, I've had a lot of comments, a lot of emails, and my email address is mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. I want to hear from you. I've had a lot of comments from people who say, you know what, Mike, I'm not a hunter. In fact, I don't even like to fish. But I listen to your show and I enjoy it. And to me, that is the ultimate compliment. Somebody who doesn't hunt or fish, but who listens to this show and enjoys it and takes the time to send me an email and tell me why, that to me is very, very rewarding. I do want to hear from you. Mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com, Mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. While we're talking about such things, my website is mikeaveryoutdoors.com. I told you about my email, Mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. I'm also pretty active on social media. I do not allow my social media outlets to become anti-social media outlets. They're very family friendly. I keep a pretty close eye on things and I monitor what is being posted, and I do not hesitate to remove offenders and offensive comments and posts. Coming up after the break here in the Outdoor Magazine Show, I'm going to check in with Captain Jason Graham of Send It Charters. Jason is an outstanding fisherman. He's very technical, he's very precise, and he's very good. I want to talk to him about fall walleye fishing, primarily on Saginaw Bay. Then Jason Garvin of the Michigan Wildlife Council checks in with an update on the Here for Generations campaign. In our second hour, Scott Keatsman, taxidermist, talking about preserving your outdoor memories. Dustin Eisenhoff of the DNR, how to report a harvest using the DNR app. And then in our third hour, we'll talk more about hunting pheasants with Tom Lounsbury, and we'll wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. I'll see if he can't cook up a pheasant recipe for us. That's all coming up this week right here on Outdoor Magazine. All right, my friends, I'm sorry. I did not see, I saw your comments, but I couldn't respond to them. Good morning, Mike. Hey, Paulie, how you doing, buddy? Good morning, Scott. Keep up the good work. I don't disagree, Roger. Randy, thank you, Kevin. Winterizing the boat. All right, my friends, have a good day. I'll be back here tonight, 7 o'clock, for another edition of Wednesday Night Live. In the meantime, have a great day, and thank you for joining me on this edition of Behind the Mic. I'll go in and change that date right now.